What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's Bandito Mike for 1878 Casuals. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not riding solo this time. I got my boys with me. I got Hollywood, the man himself, Patch Moore. And of course, I got Casey Gale, the maddest of faces, Mad Face. Today, we're going to be talking about United's recruiting strategy. And we've been linked with a number of midfielders like we always are. But we're going to talk about two contrasting, not types of players. There were similar players, but our recruitment strategy. So what do you say? Let's get into it, right? So the first one is a Feyenoord player, young. I believe he's 21 years old. His name is, I want to get this right, Orkin Kökcü. And when I wrote it on my notes, I wrote cock like your cock and chew like you chew, but it's Kökcü. And he's a Turkish player. Sorry, Patch. He's Turkish. I don't know.
Hey, Patch, I was there with you.
If you guys don't know, our beloved Patch is his mother is Armenian, and there's a whole thing. We're not going to get political into it, but
They know.
if you know, you know, right? So, okay, so a Turkish player, he's 22 years old at Feyenoord, and Feyenoord currently are flying in the face of Ajax losing half of their organization to United, their players, their coaching staff, and not really being that great. So Feyenoord are, I think they've got four more wins, and then they can wrap up the league. He is a center mid, kind of a what we'd call a free eight, kind of a cross between a 10 and an 8. Kind of that roving playmaker. And he is a all-arounder, you would say. He's not really great at he's not hitting 10s on a lot of things. He's hitting 7s and 8s on all, checking all the boxes. Can he make long passes? Yes. Can he progress the ball through the lines with short passes? Yes. He's really good at set pieces. So if we think about a long-term replacement or someone to come in for Christian Eriksen, really good at set pieces. He takes their free kicks, putting in crosses, taking corners, and then also, going for goal within range. He's got a very high work rate, which makes him a very attractive player. Ten Hag likes players who really work, get themselves in good positions, in and out of possession. Is what you would call a high volume player, where he's getting loads of touches per 90, and he's got really good technical ability. Like I said, he is proficient at a lot of things that you want your midfielder to be. He's not really great at anything. He's not going to blow past anyone with speed. He can put in a long ball. He is willing to take a risk and be a creator. And our boy English will like that he shoots from range. He's not afraid to shoot from range. Some people call that wasteful in the modern game when you're looking at numbers and metrics, but you got to surprise the defense sometimes. So he's not afraid to do that. So that's him in possession. Real quick, I'll just go out of possession. So out of possession, he's looking to intercept passes. So similar to Bruno Fernandes is actually really good at this. He doesn't get enough credit for this, but really good at reading plays and intercepting passes. Being in a good position to win the ball back. And again, that work rate, he's just willing to track back, harass and harass, the ball carrier and willing passers, and winning the ball back and then looking to move it forward. So a lot of people have called him like the poor man, Frankie De Jong. Are we going to go into that saga again this summer, or we just say no? We're gonna find someone else. So that's Kökcü. So again, what do you think? 30, 40 million euros, something like that. Still a young player, but hasn't really proven himself in a major league.
I mean, that seems to be the thing is when you're going after players is, and it's hard to do because it doesn't always pan out the way you thought. Is this a guy that's like 100% absolutely on the ascendancy, or is it another one of those players that's like, he is as good as he is, and he acts like he is content in doing so and not, you know, like I
Yeah,
say,
where's
like
the
a
ceiling?
Pogba, you get to a certain level and you're like, all right, I'm cool, I'm coasting, I'm chilling because I'll play for a team because I'm good enough to be wanted by teams. I'll always have a team after me, and
Mm-hmm.
I can contribute, and they'll pay me stupid money and I can just fucking do my thing, and not really care about winning titles or anything like that. Just kind of content to coast at the current trajectory. So I
Yeah,
don't know a
so
whole.
it's
Say again.
always it's always difficult to read the mentality and the ambition of the player. Um, this is a player much like Malacia, where Ten Hag would have had eyes on this player.
For some time
Uh,
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
known his coaches, maybe known him from the Dutch
I was gonna
players.
say,
He's a
especially if
Turkish
they
player,
coached
but
in the Eredivisie together. Yeah,
right, he's born in the Netherlands. So he came up, through these youth academies. So Ten Hag you would think he would have a good handle on, the other side of what you're talking about is
yeah,
the ambition and the mentality of the player.
yeah,
And
yeah. Go ahead, Casey.
and what he is though is he's a 10 hog guy. He fits our system. He's highly the position we're looking for him to play is yeah, it is a poor man, Frankie De Jong, and that's what Ten Hag needs. He needs someone who could play in a defensive position, cerebral, and highly press resistant. And this kid is that. He's going to be half whatever. There's going to be half the headache, half the wages of Frankie De Jong. And I mean, yeah, it seems like our recruiting is trust Ten Hag, but he's doing a great job. I mean,
Yeah,
everything he touches works, and this kid fits our profile perfectly. I think right now we don't know who. I'm not going to get into that. Is going to sign the checks, but you have to be economical. Economical is the word. So my
yeah.
patois get in the way, but and he's the perfect replacement for you know who.
Well,
You
that's what
know,
I was
Yeah.
gonna. That's what I was gonna wonder is like, and I'm asking you guys is, let's say we were to sign this guy. You got Ericsson, you got Bruno, you got Casemiro. Who does he play for, or who does he fill in for? And
I
yeah, I
think
mean,
it's I think it would be Ericsson.
Yeah, this would be a kind of a like for like
Yeah,
with Ericsson.
okay. So
but
this
that's
would
not
be,
to go
well,
ahead.
he's
So,
like, no,
so
like you said, he's 22. So this would be, the intention of the replacement for Ericsson when Ericsson is like, all right, I'm good. Like, I'm 34 now.
right, we've got remember Casemiro is also going to
Yeah,
be in like 2 more years, maybe three.
Yeah,
So long term, you're looking at having to replace, 2/3 of your starting midfield within the next 3 years.
right. I mean, Bruno's still got probably 5, 6 years left in him because he's what, 28 or 29 or something like that. I mean, and
Bruno.
and and
Bruno's stamina is amazing,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I
and I'm talking about football.
yeah, no, Kiki.
Yeah, so
I'm
recruitment,
sorry.
recruitment, a massive thing. And I'm talking about football. Um, so that's kind of one style where we're like, okay, this is like kind of like a Malasia.
Yeah,
This is like, nobody knew how good Licha was going to be. You know what I mean? So it has that potential, and it could be a flop. We don't know. But the on the flip side of that is some news today that the Scousers are out in the chase for Jude Bellingham. So on the conversely, you get a 19-year-old. People are talking about he's a generational talent. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but he's another all-rounder, right? So in the era where players are so specialized, like they do this really great and their deficiencies are elsewhere, and another player on the team picks up for that. Jude Bellingham is he wouldn't say he's like a terrific playmaker, or he's not completely press resistant. He, progresses the ball well.
Well, which we all know being press resistant is crucial in this game, and coming from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, him not being press resistant is going to be a problem until if and when he's able to adapt. But
I would let me make a caveat. I would say he's not a 10 on press resistant. But he's not a 5 either. He's an 8.
Good. He's still great at it.
You know what I mean? So he's when I say all rounder, he's not 5s on everything. He's like 8s and 9s on everything.
He's still getting passing grades,
which is why he's so sought after by all the top teams.
Yeah.
United has been chasing him since he's been about 14 years old. They took him down to Carrington, he and his family. Sir Alex Ferguson was there. Yeah, he was there with Ferguson. He probably saw the chef and the hot tub that Ronaldo was talking about.
Yeah,
he's like, fuck this. I'm going to Germany, man.
Yeah,
that's wrong. That's wrong.
So, first, let me get your take on 2 things. First, on Jude Bellingham as a player. Does he come in, make United a title contender? Patch, what do you think?
I mean, I like him. My only concern really, and this was brought up on some other channels as well. Sorry, hold for Cat. Get out of here, Cat. Is that he's a fantastic player in all the boxes that he ticks, but my question that I was thinking to myself and that I would perhaps also pose to you guys is he sort of more at should he niche down, I guess is what I'm saying, because he's fantastic at all these things, but is it the sort of thing where he's like, okay, he just needs to get really good at this one thing, which is either scoring goals or doing passes or whatever it is, because he's kind of like spread too thin and it's affecting the rest of his game? If any of this makes any sense, he should
should he be more neat? Should he be more?
Yes.
He does a lot of things, but he's not great at one thing.
Yeah. And
right.
You got to remember the kid is 19 years old. He's
exactly. Sure.
He's been around since he's 16, so we all think he's like in his mid-20s.
Right.
But
yeah.
He's 19 years old, and he's not hit his ceiling. He's still got improvement in him.
And it's scary to think about the possibility of him on his way up to that ceiling under Ten Hag, because his ceiling's fucking high. So
what's even scarier is for him to be at City hitting that ceiling and us cursing his name twice a year.
I know. Yeah. I mean, and to go back to your other part of the question, does he make us title contenders? It's certainly possible, but I think if we prioritize Bellingham over a striker, that's just fucking silly. And then it sort of, to me, says in a way that we're just going after the big name signings. We don't care about titles and stuff like that, because Jude Bellingham's like the next hot thing. And so, he went to Manchester United. Look at us, like, flexing our shit around, and the Glazers can be like,
of the old Ed Woodward style.
Exactly. When it's like, you got what you wanted, not what we needed, and what we need is a striker. So I think if we're going to spend big money on a player, it's got to be a striker. And I'm not 100% sold on Kane. It would be cool to see Ferguson or
from Brighton.
What's that?
Young player from Brighton.
Yeah,
Evan.
or
Evan.
Ireland International, I believe.
Yes.
And then I can't think of the other guy right now, but
So
Osman, obviously, as I've said before, great player, a little too injury prone for me. When he plays, he balls, but if we spend that amount of money on Osman and we go 150 mil in the hole just on Osman and Homeboy's injured and we didn't buy anyone else because we blew the whole fucking transfer kitty on one guy, then we're fucked. So I think it's like, if we go for players like Ferguson and we go for players that like aren't hot commodities, because anybody would love Bellingham in their squad, but not for 130 million pounds. And then it's like we can only afford to maybe buy one other player, which is a striker. Because obviously, like you said, Casey, don't want to get into it, but we don't know who the owners are going to be. We don't even know if it's going to be done in time to the point where we're going to be able to do anything in the summer transfer window, which is fucking terrifying to think about. Because the
so
budget isn't sorted because the Glazers are being cunts, but that's another story.
so let me throw it to Casey. There's the thought that Manchester United should be getting these types of players. Like we're the biggest club in England. We should be getting, the
I,
marquee players, um,
I
versus
get it. I know what they're
taking a look.
talking
What,
about.
what do you think?
Declan Rice falls in that category too. And I just want to say, so did Harry Maguire, so did Sancho, so did and a few others. Listen, I think our gaffer's in the business right now. He has to get people who fits his system. And I don't think he wants to get into no more. I think he's planning for the worst situation that could happen. That's not having the person signing the big check. So I think he's going to be more realistic. I know we should go after the big people, but I think he's going to go like my number one priority. If anything I need is going to be a striker. There's so
Yeah.
many
So,
midfield.
so,
Go ahead.
so Ten Hag has said this. I think it's Ornstein from the Athletic. Uh, uh, he's named the priorities for Ten Hag, and he's even kind of hinted to who he wants. But obviously, a center forward. We need a striker.
Has to be.
We need more goals. We need more balance, and
Mm-hmm.
we need a midfielder. Probably another eight, but a press resistant ball progressor, and the third would be at right back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you've got uh, Aaron Wan-Bissaka to his credit has really improved his game, but that makes him a sellable asset. And just like Fergie, you got to be ruthless at times. And so Patch mentioned it before. If the line the line of credit is the line of credit, and if we spend it all on one marquee player, that means we're not getting maybe the center forward that we want, or we're not getting a polished finished product at another position. um so another thing I want to touch on is real quick is our the FFP, financial fair play rules. So even if we have an owner that's worth 200 billion euros, they can't go out and spend 200 billion euros. They have to spend a percentage of the income of the club, right? So United is really close to it right now. So I mentioned this because we need to sell players in order to bring players in. Or else we're going to be in a Barcelona type situation. So in retrospect, with what you guys have said and what we've kind of presented here, I think that for the club, we're not going to go after a Jude Bellingham type for this position. We're going to go after,
It's not realistic.
yeah, we can't do it. We can't do it year after year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to trust our Ten Hag and his recruiting. And what do you guys think of his recruitment for this year so far with the players that he's brought in?
Are you serious? I think
I
it's
mean,
fantastic. I'll leave it at that. I think it's
yeah,
brilliant. I think it all makes sense. He didn't waste his picks, and that's it.
he turned us into a title-winning side with two transfer windows. I mean, and we can say that because we literally won the Carabao Cup, and if we had a proper striker, we could be in the running for the league. I mean,
If you think
our defense has been fantastic. Our midfield has been fantastic when everyone's healthy. Rashford's having the season of his career, and he's not even a striker, really.
think about sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Lissandro Martinez and Malacia, their roles and just been fantastic. You brought in a bench guy that's been fantastic. How do you do that?
Absolutely. You're bringing in young players to push the first teamer, but they have a role to play on the pitch as well. And
It's competition. It's good, healthy
when they get
competition.
their opportunity, sometimes they don't have great games, but for the most part, Malacia has done he's done well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called, is he a 10 Hag guy? And we are all just like, every time we think about anybody coming in, like, well, is he a 10 Hag guy?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, because we know Ten Hag's smart enough. He will fuck off the marquee signing and say, no, I want this 25 million pound player. Kid's only 18, and in a year and a half, he's gonna be winning the Ballon d'Or or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think at the end of the day, Ten Hag has earned our trust, and literally we are all zombies to Ten Hag's rule, and it's like whatever Ten Hag says is how it should be. And
it's his big bald world, and we're all just living in
we're just living inside that dome.
I truly believe that under the current situation, he's going to sacrifice the Jude Bellingham to say, if I get one big marquee pick, I want it to be a striker. And I think that's what he's going in right now. So we will get that marquee pick, but he'll use it for a striker.
Yeah.
Over a midfielder in this situation.
I mean, it's got Kane written all over it.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's looking like Kane, some number 8 or hybrid midfielder, and then we're hearing Frimpong name heavily linked. Who's very good defensively. He can use some improvement, but young.
He's the opposite of Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Well, if he's going to be backing up Wan-Bissaka, I mean, if he could adapt some of Wan-Bissaka's defensive game.
I don't know.
I think he walks into the team. To be honest, I think he walks
into the team
over Delo. But we can. If you guys want to see that video,
you know why? I know why you're right. I know why you're right. We play 3 at the back or 2 at the back anyway.
Yeah, and he's got the pace to work himself back. So if you guys want to see that video, get in the comments and we'll talk about who we think is going to be, the incomings and the outgoings and all that fun stuff. So we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you, boys. So in the transfer market, the word is trust Eric Ten Hag.
For real.
So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bandito Mike for 1878 Casuals. If you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and drop a like. If you haven't yet, you got to subscribe. And there's a notification bell. So every time, Matt gets up in the morning and gives you his thing, right, you're on all the videos. So thanks again for watching. Get your comments down below.
Tell us what's up. What's up. Don't be no punks. Talk to us.
Who do you guys want to see in the side? You want the big name, the marquee player, take us up to 21, or do we take a chance on a young, unproven player and get many, many players around the pitch? Let us know, and we'll see you guys on the next one.